Welcome to a very special Christmas holiday, Fuzzybutts and friends. And as much as it ruins the holiday spirit for Fuzzybutts all over this place, I am the host of the show, Yer Big Dog, Luke Robinson. And with us today is Santa Three Paws. Yes, yes, everyone who's watching this on our YouTube channel, that is Greg Grayson, the hero of the Hudson River Walk. He is doing well, and he's wearing his Santa Paws outfit. And in his lap, although I don't know why I do know why he's down there with Ginger Morgan. You can go ahead and pull the frame up, Ginger. Show your face to the audience.
All right. Well, then we missed Grayson.
Why, I know, but we haven't figured out exactly how to do a setup where we can actually perform the show and then have Fuzzybutts that are actually on camera with us. I think that, I'm going to make a note of that for season 2, 2023, which is coming up in January. Make a note, multi-cam. Do you know if you could do multiple cameras? I guess we could somehow have a laptop.
We could include him in on the Zoom call and just set his phone up on him, but he might move around and do other things, or
that would require like setting Grayson up or whichever Fuzzybutt. We could always, you have many of yours, I have 2 of mine. We can do a different Fuzzybutt every week, but we need a Fuzzybutt cam. Fuzzybutt.
We could. And there he goes. He's going.
I know his time and attention is fleeting. That Grayson of ours. What do I?
Maybe.
Go ahead.
Maybe what we could do is I could get a smaller table and set lower, and so they're right there with me.
I have multiple cameras. I made investments in multiple cameras. We've got Logix, I think, is a really good webcam, 4K webcam. I've got right back there. So I made a note for 2023 Fuzzybutt cam. So I didn't have a chance to introduce you. Although I think the audience knows by now who you are. It's Ginger Morgan. She's the executive director of the Puppy Up Foundation. Ginger, how are you?
I'm doing well. I am, I'm ready for Christmas and the holidays and to celebrate. I visited some with my family this past weekend and had a great time. So I can't wait to get with the rest of them in a couple weeks. How about you?
Good. Well, I tell you what. Ever since the end of walk 3, I've had really what I've been calling post-walkum depression. And I'm not making light of anything else because it's a real phenomenon. I tweeted John Stalls. He's another epic walker and good friend of ours. I said, hey, John, after your epic walks, do you get depressed where you don't know what's wrong, but you just can't, you're not motivated, you don't feel good. And I've had sort of a sense and a feeling, Ginger, that I just left something back on the road, and it's indescribable. But I tweeted John, and sure enough, he encounters and experiences the same thing. But it's the holiday season, and you and Grayson are all dressed up accordingly, and I see the tree back there is decorated. We wanted to pick up a tree yesterday at the Christmas farm. I got some pictures of Grayson I want to share with the audience. We could do that here in a second. Actually, let's do that right now. So we went out and got a tree. So for those of you who don't know, if you're not following me on social media, 2 Dogs 2,000 Miles, Twitter, Insta, and Facebook, right after the end of walk 3, it's sort of, we had a Grayson meltdown, right, Ginger? Everything went wrong, correct?
Yes, everything wrong. He had allergy issues, hip issues. So he's been hanging down here with me.
Well, I guess the hip thing and the scratching a hole in the nape of his neck. I'm trying to share some pictures with everyone here, although I'm not seeing where it is. Good God, put that on 2023. That I have to figure out how to use this. Show all windows. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. This is one of the. Let's share this right here. Can you see it, Ginger?
Yeah, there we go.
All right, I just wanted to share one of the photos from, I think it's the Cedar Hills Farms. They have Christmas Tree Farm. They have other events out there, but Grayson, this really was his first outing for the first time since walk 3. So you can't see it in this picture, but I've got another photo right here I want to share. Actually, you know what? I got to do this first. But this was the first chance that we had to get Gray out and about in the public. And there's him with a bunch of kids out there at the Christmas tree farm, and he was just having a wonderful time. He's
I
so
think, is that the most people he's had around him at one time? I mean, more little people, I guess, the kids. I just remember yesterday seeing all the kids running down the hill towards
there were like
Grayson and Smiley.
there were like four or five classrooms of kids out there at the Christmas tree farm, wasn't there?
Yeah, exactly. And anyway, it brought back a memory from a long time ago. Pete was a therapy dog, and in all the videos, when you're training, they have you watch these videos of like all these people and kids just surrounding your dog, like surprise. And that did happen one time with Pete, and I had a kind of a trainee with me. He was a medical student, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't think that happened in real life." And that's all I could think of yesterday when all those kids came down the hill, was like, "Yep, it happens in real life."
I was just wondering, what do you call a group of school kids? Kind of like a gaggle of geese, a murder of crows. What do you call a group of school kids? What do you think?
Chaos.
That's what I was going to say. A chaos of school kids. How is it you beat me to that? Good God Almighty! I have it written right here, just for the record, to show I did it. Nope, it's right there. Chaos of school kids at the very top. You can read it. I wrote it down. How did you know that? Is that legit? Is it really called that, or is that something that's?
I don't. That's what I would call it.
It was indeed a chaos. That was very chaotic, though. But I got to say, Grayson was wonderful with the school kids, and then.
So was Smiley, who has not been out in groups of people. Smiley he was a little apprehensive at first, but
Smiley is Ginger's. Smiley, you have to introduce Smiley though. At some point, you got to get him on the show. But Smiley is one of Ginger's Fuzzybutts, and he's part Pyrenees. All smiles though.
He is, and he looks sometimes a little scary when he smiles. But and I was afraid that he would do that yesterday with the kids.
Yeah.
But he did not. He just had his big, wide open smile and not his toothy smile.
He did great. Here he is right here. He's part. Can you see that?
They're part of him, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's in the background. I just wanted to post this. You can kind of see this cape, the Santa cape that Gray is wearing. And he is actually, both of them are actually legit on a hayride. And I know that's...
They did. That was kind of unexpected for yesterday. Of course, so were the class of chaos.
yeah, it's a very cute photo of Gray, but my God, look at that tongue though, right? That's got to be 2 times the length of his head, right?
I think I'm just going to use that over and over again for Tongue Out Tuesday.
Yes, yeah, I put it on social media, and I thought he's got to win some sort of award for that though. Although,
yeah, he does need some type of an award for that, for sure.
Although I did point out on social media, though, rather naughtily.
Yeah, we don't need to point that out.
All right. Well, anyway, you know what? I'll save that for another day, because I think it's funny, and I can't help but thinking about it. But you're right. This is a Christmas episode. We try to keep it kid-friendly here, though, but we talk about some tough issues, but we try to keep everything kid-friendly. And on that note, though, for our audience, though, on the YouTube channel, it's fuzzybutstudios.com is the YouTube channel where you can watch the video. When you publish videos, you have to select, is this kid safe? And in the first many episodes, I was just like, okay, yeah, well, I want it to be, this certainly is, the content is PG rated, for sure. So we talk about some of the tougher issues like pet euthanasia and so on and so forth. But interestingly enough, what I didn't know is when you select kid friendly, when you publish the video, it disables the comments. And so people are asking us, well, why can't we leave comments on there?
I didn't realize that.
That's very true. So even though the content says not kid friendly or kid safe, parents that want to have their human fuzzy butts, if that's even
I don't think no.
They're human kids. They're human kids, not their canine kids. So listen along. Just so you know, our content is kid friendly, even though it says otherwise on YouTube. All right, so back to Grayson. So right after walk 3, his back leg gave out completely. And my mind always goes to cancer, obviously. But we found out it was just hip dysplasia. And my guess is, he was riding in that wagon for many months and not doing a lot of exercising and so on and so forth, which is good for him. But he lost some weight and I would imagine developed some atrophy. We've been training for a while in those hind legs. But I was thinking about it, Ginger. In retrospect, it was surely is a good thing that I came up with the Power Wagon, because if his hip dysplasia, we need to go do some advanced diagnostics come the new year. But if his hip dysplasia is bothering him that bad, to the point where he was immobile until we got him on NSAIDs and gabapentin, my guess is, in hindsight, I bet he would not have even made it through the mountains before his hip dysplasia would have started bothering him. So we would have had to cancel the walk. So if you think about Trail Magic, that we started the walk with the Power Wagon and he rode the entire way, really was Trail Magic in its own right. So
yeah, but now he has to start all his physical therapy over again. So you're going to have to start.
We both do, though, because I've been off the road over a month now and I've already gained like 10 or 15 pounds. I was starving. I lost so much weight. It was just hard to keep weight on. But we both have to get back in physical condition. I've got an exciting announcement for the calendar 2023 for Puppy Up Foundation. This new initiative we'll be doing. Very excited about it, and it runs along the same line. So just stay tuned for that announcement. So I've got a bullet list of things that we want to go through. Let's start at the top. This is officially the end of season 1, the Fuzzybutts and Friends. My apologies. This is actually a day late from our normal Tuesday drop time for the podcast, but we had some cancellations. It's the holiday season, and we have some really great guests that we're going to bring on for season 2. So I think we looked at the calendar, Ginger. We've got a great interview coming up at the 1st of January. And so the start of season 2 will be January 17th. You need to check me because sometimes I have notes all over the place.
Yeah, nope, I got that. It's
January 17th will be the start.
1st of January. I was like, whoop, okay.
That will be episode 1 of season 2 will be January 17th. So before we get into sort of the cool ideas and things we have in store for season 2, 2023, I just wanted to take a minute and just do kind of a self-congratulatory lap around the track, you and I, Ginger, because we really accomplished a lot here in season 1. I feel like we had a total of 42. We dropped 42 episodes out of 52 weeks. It says 46. I think this will be 47, but 3 of those are encore presentations. And I'm going to do that actually over the holidays. There are a couple of episodes that didn't get the promo and didn't get the text synopses that for some reason we were having trouble with YouTube when I was on the road for walk 3. So we're going to replay some of those really wonderful episodes, make sure they get airtime coming up over the weeks as best we can do. But we'll be back on air with live episodes, or not live, but recorded episodes on January the 17th. So that's the first thing, Ginger. I think that's great. 42 episodes, new episodes dropped in season 1. Yeah, good accomplishment.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Yay to us.
Out of which you probably only said 42 words combined.
Well, I try to get at least 1 word in per episode.
Yeah. Well, then, let's hope you improve that goal for season 2. Speaking of,
I'll just have to interrupt you more, like I am now.
Hey, I always see
in season 2. I'll interrupt more.
I always cede the floor to you when you jump in, because I am, and it's not because I'm rude or aggressive, because I have a stream of consciousness form of kind of, I riff, basically. I just talk and I do it extemporaneously. I am very passionate about what I'm
No joke.
I do, but it's no offense. I tend to, it's hard to cut myself off. It's hard to self-edit and regulate when I'm into things. And because of my passion, I tend to dominate the floor. But whenever
next time, if I start doing this, that means stop. I want to talk.
We'll try not to do that so much. You can just jump right in and I see it. But I did, in taking notes for this episode, Ginger, I did have an idea because you always seem to talk about the weather. And that must be like a Memphis, Tennessee or a Southern thing or something like that. And we start off. So why don't you tell us a story when I introduce you every episode? Because I've asked you if you wanted to introduce yourself and you said no. So I did give you that opportunity. So why don't you share a new story about your fuzzy butts every week? Why don't you start the show with that? How about that?
With an episode of the chaotic fuzzy butts in my house.
You know that at least once a week, one of them's going to irritate you to no end. So all you have to do is just jot down that note and tell that story. All right.
Well, I bet a lot of it's still going to have to do with your two fuzzy butts, Grayson and Indiana. So,
Well, they are problematic. Indiana, this is a salient point. Something I forgot to point out is that my flat is up here and the studio is up here, and both of my fuzzy butts can't come up the stairs anymore. So it's been awfully lonely the start of this season. So this holiday. So somehow I've got to create like a mechanical cart that brings my fuzzy butts up the stairs up here to me. But they are a handful. I love them, but they're Pyrenees.
exactly.
They are true to their breed, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they are exactly. Yep.
All right.
I tried to get Smiley to recognize the goats yesterday to see if his inner Pyrenees would come out, and he was not interested.
He's a curious character though, but he's a rescue, and like Grayson, some of his peccadillos, I like to call them, stem from I think his background. All right, so let's keep it moving here. I didn't want to go too long, being the holiday season. The other thing I wanted to talk about what we accomplished is, we adopted some new technology, the Canine Diagnostics, the wonderful technology. I haven't signed up my Grayson yet for the aging study. I intend to do that over the holidays. I think we really we made a lot of new friends here on Fuzzy Butts and Friends. Don't you feel like?
I think we made a ton of new friends. And, for anybody who missed the episodes or you're just turning into this one, go back and listen to some of the past episodes. We've got stuff on nutrition. If your dogs have had cancer, we've had the new diagnostics that we talked about with Pet DX and the Onco Canine testing. There, how to, about massage therapy. There's all kinds of
Traditional Chinese medicine, which come the new
exactly.
year, I'm going to be finding a veterinarian trained in traditional Chinese veterinary medicine because that's just an area I think we need to have the holistic approach. We can have the Western clinical trials, FDA approved practices. We can have that. But I think Eastern medicine brings a lot to the table, and I want to deeply explore that for season 2 for sure. So what would you like to, I'll ask this question, lob it your way first before I go into sort of what I'd like to see in some of the ideas I have for 2023, Ginger. What would you like to see? What have we done well? What do you like? What do you don't like? And then what would you like to see for 2023?
I think, for our first season, I think we've done really well at having a variety of guests on the show, from very scientific to massage therapy to what else did we do? I mean, all kinds of, we've gone the gamut. I would really like to see, and I think we talked about it the other day, is on some of the studies that the Puppy Up Foundation has funded to get those scientists on to talk about the study and where they've gone since, how it turned out and what they've been able to do since the study. And some of the studies were, a few years ago. So now they should have been in, whatever the findings were, should have been in practice at this point. And then I would also like, for me and for you as well, our companions, Fuzzy Butts, there was at least one that changed the direction of our life. And I would really like to connect with some other people to hear their stories as well, to add, sort of the emotional, heartfelt thing about why people are where they are now. With, I mentioned my dog Pete earlier, you with Malcolm and Murphy. I would just love to connect with people and hear those stories on how their life changed.
Okay, some personal stories about not only the bond of of the companion and your mate and with your fuzzy butts. But
Yeah, and we did have people on, we did have people on the show to talk about the human animal connection and bond. But I think if we actually talk to people,
what
about that,
had
and
you
then
not cut me off there, just hold on there, cowgirl. Had you not cut me off there, that was going to be my point. And then how that connection transformed them and how that manifests itself in their personal life. Correct?
correct, that's exactly. And then the other would be and we talked about this is to get people who are experts in on a particular type of cancer like mast cell, osteosarcoma, and things like that. So we're working on that as well.
Yeah, that's number one on my list. You're taking a page off my sheet there. All right,
I
hold
am.
on there,
I
tough
already
guy.
started the whole chaos.
Before we move on, though, I want to go back to the studies, though. I'd also like to talk because this has been a challenge for a small foundation who's invested over $2 million in its in all of its pillars, all the pillars of the foundation. Funding scientific research is one of those, and we've really haven't gotten the outcome, I think, from some of those, a couple of those studies, and I think it's important to add to the knowledge base for everyone in the audience. And also, I know veterinarians listen to this as well. What did we learn from the studies, the clinical trials, the studies that we didn't get the outcome, that the clinical trial didn't produce the results or have the outcome that we had hoped for? It's also important. So when we're discussing this, Ginger, you and I, for 2023, and we're scheduling our calendar, let's also make sure we discuss that because it's also important as well. Because not every study, that's the nature of scientific research, right? Scientific exploration is you're not always going to get the outcome or the results that you're looking for. What's important is that you learn why and how that changes your understanding of the problem the next time around. So it's a great idea, studies, and then bringing more people on whose relationship with their fuzzy butt has changed their life and how so. Great ideas for 2023. So number one on my list, let's go ahead and talk about this, is we're going to do a series on canine cancer specifically. We might do one also on feline cancer too, Ginger, as well. It's going to be a much shorter list, as we know. But let's go ahead and do that as well. And because this is Fuzzy Butts and Friends, and it is important for our cat. Actually, most of our audience has, they're a inclusive. They have an inclusive household, right? The cats, dogs. Some of them have gerbils. What are those little the hedgehogs? I've seen some of our people have hedgehogs.
Ferrets.
Ferrets,
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
my
Chinchillas.
cat, which I never talk about her, Izzy, helped with the tree lighting back here, but that is why we only have lights on the tree and not ornaments as well, because that with her help and Indiana's help, that's as far as we got with the lights.
Well,
We will continue
I
on.
was being nice. I was going to say, who the heck did those lights? Because like half of it's drooping down. I can now see the cat must have been just hanging from that side.
Yeah,
Um,
she was helping. And you know what? That's good because she's about 16, 17 years old. So
yeah. So let's go back to the canine cancer series, and we'll do feline cancer as well. Maybe have one on companion animal cancer because we know snow leopards get cancer, rabbits get cancer, horses, bears, they all get cancer. It's a shared disease, one cancer in a shared ecosystem. We know that. But we're going to have a canine cancer series because the great thing about, by virtue of the Puppy Up Foundation, is we know pretty much a lot. I won't say all of them, but we know pretty much all the top minds, a lot of the time, many of the top minds, I think, in the veterinary oncology community. And if we don't know a specialist that's well renowned in a particular area or cancer type, then we certainly have the connections to direct us the right way. So we'll have like one specifically on osteosarcoma, one on lymphoma, one on hemangiosarcoma. We're going to break it down. How does the disease manifest itself? How's it diagnosed? Then early interventions. Then the treatment for it. Then how does the disease progress? How does it metastasize? So on and so forth. So we're going to break down as many cancers as I think that we can do. We can fit into 2023. Let's try to do. What do you think is a good number? Maybe 5. I think 5 episodes or so. Maybe 6. I think 10 is a lot. We need to get the big ones. What do you
10
think?
would be a lot. I think we should take maybe the
6
top okay, the top 6
or so. Yeah,
and
we'll take a look at them because we know we want to do mast cell cancer as well, lymphoma.
angio.
What was that? Hemangio, right?
Angio.
Um, but bladder cancer is a big one. Those are breed specific, so we'll figure out. And we take audience feedback on our YouTube channel, also Facebook, and Twitter, Insta as well. Let us know when we post these episodes on social media. Hey, that's great, but I'd like to hear about this cancer as well because it's pretty much just Ginger and I right now running the show, and we hope to add some people, maybe at least a person to help out 2023. We'd also like to get sponsorships as well to be able to grow this show organically. But that's exciting. I think we have that to look forward to. We're really going to get to, I think, and ask the hard questions about cancer, specific cancer types. Well, one next thing I'd like is certainly on the slate for 2023, talking about investments, is we're going to build out a website. It won't be a fancy one, but right now, Fuzzybutts and Friends goes to buzzsprout.com, which is the host of our podcast. And I don't know, I'm fairly pleased with Buzzsprout. There just aren't a lot out there, a good host, and I don't think that we're at a point to host it ourselves. But at least we're going to have some not just brochureware, but we're going to have a site where hope people can leave comments. I think we're going to centralize things. So in 2023, look forward to a website other than this Buzzsprout where you can go and also listen to it. Interestingly enough, about 40% or 45%, I think, of the audience listens to our podcast on Buzzsprout, 45% on a website browser, and then 5 or 6% listen to it on Spotify as a number one. So I know we're not on all platforms yet. I think Apple still hasn't approved us. I don't know why, but I just haven't had the bandwidth to be able to go and understand that and then figure that out. So we plan on launching more, being on more podcast platforms in 2023 as well. All right. So the next thing I have, which is exciting because you're right, Ginger, diet and nutrition. I think we really didn't do one episode on diet and nutrition. And that's everyone is concerned about diet and nutrition because
several of our guests spoke about diet and nutrition, but we didn't do like a whole episode.
Yeah, we haven't had one specifically on diet and nutrition. I blame my co-producer, my co-pilot in the show. I put that all on you. So we're gonna delve more into diet and nutrition because when we study epigenetics and we understand that, we talk about that, really what you put into the system affects the system, not only right now, but way downstream. And I know that a lot of the pet parents that we talk to and I meet on the road, feel strongly that diet nutrition is one of the biggest risk factors in cancer in our canine companions. So in addition to doing one, we're going to definitely do one, maybe 2 episodes on diet nutrition. Maybe we'll have one on kibble. Maybe we'll have one on the raw because raw is very important. And sometimes those two don't agree. I've talked to experts that are just complete advocates, total advocates of the kibble diet. And they're certified, they're known as experts in diet nutrition and companion animals. And they fully believe, 100% believe that you should go kibble. Then you have the other school of thought out there, which is raw, or maybe not 100% raw, but some form of raw is the superior way. Some sort of ancestral diet is the way to go. So expect a good reflection of the complex issues surrounding science and diet, Ginger, because there's still so many people that just don't know what the heck to buy their Fuzzybutts, right?
Correct.
All right, that's all you got?
That was my one word.
That's all you got after everything I say? Okay, correct. All right, good. Check the box. I am correct on that issue. All right. But in addition to doing the science diet, though, we talked about this last season. I'm going to do this. I want to do a cooking for your dogs, your Fuzzybutts episode. So in the occasional capacity, I'm known as Chef Big Dog. And so Chef Big Dog is going to do some type of cooking demonstration for cooking with your dogs. We can have Ro with good gosh,
Neopaws,
the great shoes from Canada. Yes, we talked about that. We might actually have another guest on to do a cooking episode. It's going to be exciting. So look forward to that. Another thing that we're going to be doing, which I think is very important and powerful, Ginger. I've looked at this in the past, but I've never really had a platform, I think, that's been suitable enough to be able to have this very nuanced, very hard discussion, because it affects the foundation, our foundation, and it has helped shape sort of our scientific plan as a foundation, is drug testing in dogs. Right, that's a very tough issue, because our foundation doesn't fund studies that cause cancer, any type of lab animal at all. However, we do fund clinical trials with dogs that have spontaneously developed cancer. However, scientifically, I know the pharma industry and the drug design and development process well enough to know that that's a critical part of FDA approval. And it's just a part of the approval that we've never been able to get out of the process. So one of our early guests is going to be the Beagle Project. I might have gotten that wrong. I think it's maybe the Beagle Rescue Project. I don't recall that. To talk about, for some reason that I don't understand scientific. I just know scientifically they're the best model for drug testing. And it breaks my heart personally. It just breaks my heart totally. And I hate it that that's the status quo in developing novel therapeutics for our companion animals, but that's a step that's been unavoidable to date. So I've been doing research, Ginger, on how artificial intelligence can maybe completely remove that step from the drug design and development process. So I know that that's a big topic, right?
I'm looking forward. It's the Beagle Freedom Project.
Beagle Freedom Project. Yes, my apologies. I didn't have that in my notes.
It took me a minute when you said that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's going to be a painful, a tough couple of episodes, but I believe in doing some cursory due diligence and from talking to a few people that artificial intelligence just may be able to get us away from having to do that step and development of novel therapeutics. We want new drugs, especially new cancer drugs and treatments out there for Fuzzybutts, but it comes at a cost, unfortunately. And that cost is not tenable to me. And I think we all have to do more to remove that step from the process. So that's going to be one of the topics that's coming up on season 2 in 2023. I look forward to it. All right. Another one, which I think is very important, because for me, this show is about dogs and the future of dogs, the future of society with dogs, and their interaction and interrelationship. And Fuzzybutts too, of course, but I just use dogs as sort of my default. I don't have chinchillas, although I should, I think, maybe a hedgehog. But I think a lot about what's going on. And we know that artificial intelligence, on the flip side of artificial intelligence, we know that that's going to change the landscape of things in our society. And one of the trends that disturbs me is that we're seeing a rise of cost of cancer treatments for our companion animals. And that continues to go up and up. As we know, when you develop new treatments, those treatments come with a sticker price, unfortunately.
Well, the whole veterinary care has gone up in the last.
It would be interesting to see the
probably a year.
Right. Go ahead. Sorry.
I can look at what I paid for just minor things last year and what I'm paying for them this year. And I know I spoke with one of my veterinarians, and she said that almost every day she gets something about one of their products has gone up. And unfortunately, right, she has to pass it on, to her clients. She can't eat that. So.
Right. Yeah. What I would like to see, and I had to make a note of it to look at this, is I would like to see the rise in the rate of veterinary costs compared to the rise of the rate of cancer drugs for companion animals. My guess is cancer drugs are becoming more and more expensive. It's getting more expensive faster, but you're right. They're both on the rise. We live in inflationary times, and it's not looking any better for 2023. We may be headed into a recession. And why that's relevant to us is that we've seen people talking about the high cost of treatment, determining whether they make decisions to adopt companion animals, right? So my concern, it should be all of our concern, that if it gets more and more expensive to treat our kids out there, and more people are talking about resource allocation, are we going to see a drop in adoptions? Are we going to see a decline in pet parents selecting advanced treatment costs or treatments for their companion animals? This is not happening now, but I have the crystal ball, if that's what it is. I don't really have a crystal ball, but I have the ability of seeing trends over a long period of time. It's not happening now, but we're going to see it more and more over the next few years. And 10 years from now, I believe that if we somehow don't figure out a way to make it easier and more affordable for pet parents to be able to treat their fuzzy butts, their companion animals, then you're going to have a society choosing the other form of companion animals, which are the robotic type. And that, I think that's interesting and curious, but I think that comes at a tremendous cost. So we're going to drill down on that issue coming up, the future of companion animals in our society. What does it look like? What is our relationship going to be like? Are they going to be able to communicate with us? That's another show I'd like to do, Ginger, in 2023, because we know there's a company on the West Coast that's trying to create a GUI, an interface, a neural interface between companion animals and people. I think
I'm not real sure. I want to know what some of my animals have to say.
I know you don't want to. I know you don't want to know what Grayson has to say to you.
No. I might be interested in what Lily has to say, but then again, I might not. Luke, I think the weather might be interfering with your connection because you're freezing up just a little bit. And the weather here, I'm back to the weather again, but the weather here is kind of iffy today.
We are. How bad? I mean, is it happening frequently? I'm almost done. Actually, we're almost done with this episode. So.
Oh, okay. It's happening a little bit. You're freezing just a little bit.
Well, I'm making some good. I hate that because I'm making some good points. So I definitely don't like anything interfering with my sound bites. But that's also another thing. We've got some technology issues that we've got to make investments. For some reason, my laptop where I do these broadcasts. My Wi-Fi, I think I'm having a problem with my internal Wi-Fi because I'm not picking up the fiber that we're paying for here at Fuzzybutts Studios. So my apologies if it is freezing. It's freezing right now. We'll do our best to make sure that we have higher production quality in our podcast in 2023. All right, so let's go ahead and finish it up here. Another couple of future trends, however, I want to put out there that are concerning me that I want to talk about in 2023. We're looking at people are trending now. People are tweeting now out there and putting out articles out about misgendering pets and gender fluidity and companion animals. And that definitely concerns me for a number of reasons. With people, it's fine, but I want to find out what exactly they mean, what they're talking about, and what kind of world they see for companion animals, because we run into some serious issues when you talk about that's like me trying to figure out if Hudson could have chosen his gender, would he have chosen, if that's even the right word, if he elected if he identified, that's the right word I was looking for. I wonder if Hudson would have identified from something other than what Hudson identified. But anyway, that's a slippery slope. We want to talk to some people about that and address those issues as well as resource allocation. And people out there are already talking about not treating your pets for expensive medical conditions. All right, I think let's see, what does this include? Fuzzy Butt Cam, that's me. It's a note for that.
Well, while you're looking at that, I just want to take a minute to thank all of our listeners for tuning in this year, and hopefully they'll all be back last year. For everybody, all the Puppy Up supporters, those who have donated money, time, shared our tweets and Facebook posts and everything on social media and all the outlets. I just want to thank you, and I wish everybody many happy holidays and a happy new year. We won't see you again till after the first of the year, so thank you for joining us, and I hope you keep tuning in.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Also want to thank all of our guests that we had on, all the great, wonderful content and conversations that we've had, and certainly our listeners and our audience. without who I was going to say without whom we wouldn't exist. But you know what? Even if we had maybe just one, I think I just keep talking and talking because that's what I do.
I know you would because you keep freezing up. So, and you just keep talking. So,
Okay, well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this very special holiday season. To everyone, our audience, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to every single one of you. We'll see you in 2023, January 7th, 17th. Puppy up. Talk soon.
happy holidays.